Today, Helldivers, we're going to be talking about the Chemical Agents Warbond. Now, it seems to be a running trend with Warbonds that when they release, they are a little undercooked. I think that has been a running trend since Polar Patriots, really, where a majority of the Warbond has felt underwhelming. And lo and behold, this Warbond is no different. Now, right off the rip, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. My overall opinion of this is that this Warbond is really not worth it at the moment unless you are a big fan of, say, that more chemical side of warfare. But now I kind of want to break down the Warbond, kind of explain why I have those feelings towards it. And yeah, we can start off with page 1. So on the first page, you're going to get all the usual. The standout is probably either the armor set or the gas grenade. Now, armor sets, I do think they are I would say a big part of the Warbond, just from either the aesthetic side of the armor set or the perk that it comes with. Now, I think aesthetically, the armor sets in the Warbond in general are pretty good, but really quick talking about the armor perk itself, all it does is give you resistance to gas damage. Now, I don't think gas damage is something we need a perk for at the moment. Gas tick damage just is not that noticeable, really, honestly, and it's not that oppressive as opposed to, say, fire damage. Fire damage it's very quick. You have to be on your toes. You either have to dive or stim yourself, but fire damage will eat you up real quick. So having resistance to that makes sense. Having gas resistance though, no, I don't think this is a good perk. So if you're using this armor set, it's strictly for aesthetics. Obviously helmets don't give us that, or neither do capes, but I'm talking about the chest pieces. Now, when talking about the gas grenade, we might as well talk about the changes to gas in general, where now it disorients targets, both automatons and bugs will be affected by this. So it basically makes them confused and act weirdly. They'll move around, they'll attack random spots without targeting you. So it's a crowd control effect. It also does a little bit of tick damage, not as much as fire per se, but it does do damage over time. And I don't know if I want to give credit to the Warbond or the patch for the gas effect, but I guess the Warbond's adding more gas effect, so a little bit of credit to that. But I do like where the gas sits, because it sits between a EMS stasis effect and then obviously the fire tick damage. So gas sits somewhere in between those two, and I think that's a really nice spot for it, because when it comes to Helldivers 2, we don't want things that are just way stronger than something else when like a new effect comes out. We want it to kind of fit within the horizontal progression of the game and balance. We don't want something that's a complete outlier, because then it makes everything else look weaker, or it's just so useless that, you know, you're never going to pick it. We want it to kind of like sit somewhere in the sandbox on like an even playing field. And right now I think gas does sit, again, like I said, somewhere between that stasis effect and that fire damage. It sits like right in the middle there, where it is effective, and it's another tool for us to bring on a mission for like a different play style. And when it comes to a game like this, variety literally is the spice of life. Eventually you're going to get bored of your usual picks, and you're going to want to branch out to have more fun. And I think gas is a different play style where it is pretty fun to play. And so that really brings us to the two, I say, big points of the Warbond, is the two stratagems they have added. This is the first time they've put stratagems in the Warbond, and I don't know if there's any really controversy around this or not, or drama, but I feel like, again, having these stratagems in the Warbond are completely fine, considering the game throws stratagems at us all the time, and we're already getting a complete product when you buy this game at the base, you know, $40. So adding them in additionally into a Warbond, not a big deal to me at all, especially with the way the sandbox is now, where basically 90% of everything is viable in all game types. But we can talk about the sterilizer, and we can talk about the guard dog breath. Starting off with the sterilizer, again, this is like a flamethrower but shoots out gas, and it does that gas effect. I think this is a fun stratagem. I find it useful. I find this, besides the, you know, if you like the armor set, I find this to be the, I guess, gold ticket to the Warbond, that if you were going to buy this would be your big ticket item, is the sterilizer. Because on the flip side, the guard dog breath, I noticed that this thing either A, does not shoot all the time even when it has ammunition, and it also does a thing where whatever target it goes to, it flies like, it leaves your back vicinity, and it flies like right up next to what it wants to gas, and it'll be there for a while. It'll get them eventually, but then sometimes when it's sitting behind you, it doesn't do anything. So I think the AI, I guess, or how the bot works, is a little wonky at the moment, so it doesn't work. It's not exactly consistent, which is very unfortunate. So already we just kind of like two either kind of good or mediocre items, and then we have the guard dog, which I would consider not that great at the moment, just because I think for me it's been very inconsistent. But the gas grenade, it's fine, it's whatever. The sterilizer I do think is good. But now we can talk about the other, I would say, issue with the Warbond, which is the stim pistol. This thing needs some help in general, I think. But what this does is you will be able to have, you trade out your secondary slot for basically a range stim shot, which you can shoot your allies with. You can't shoot yourself with it, which I don't know why. I don't know if they have the programmer for that, but I feel like that was a really missed opportunity there. And then so those are essentially your big, I think, ticket items with the Warbond. And as you can see, they're all kind of either mediocre to bad. And then the armor set, obviously it's up to you. Emotes, and the sprays and like the different color schemes, those are okay. The super credits are always nice, but then again, if you don't buy this, then you save yourself 1,000. So that's up to you if you really put value in that. So overall, I would this is my first Warbond where I don't find anything that I absolutely love. You know, this trend of bad Warbonds I think really started in Polar Patriots, but even in Polar Patriots, I really loved the look and the idea of the tenderizer. But when it was first launched, yeah, that was ass. But the real saving grace of that one was the SMG pummeler. I'm a huge SMG fan. That's usually my playstyle. So the pummeler was my like gold ticket. That thing's awesome. And then we got the Viper Warbond. Wasn't very good in general. The carbine is ass, but the aesthetics was, again, it was that commando predator aesthetic. So I really think that one sold that one pretty well. And then the last one we got, the fire one, the Flames of Freedom. Oh, that was just really bad timing with the crisis that was going on with the balance. And then we got this one, which I think is a little bit underwhelming. And then aesthetically speaking, it's not exactly what I would gravitate towards picking for my Hell of a Diver to look like. And I think its overall armor perks, not very good. Now, how would I fix this Warbond? Well, I think obviously the guard dog needs its AI reworked or it to be a little more consistent. I think the gas effect overall is good and fine. I think the sterilizer, again, that's good and fine. But I think a big drawback to this is one of the most expensive things on the Warbond is that stim pistol. And stim pistol, just the opportunities to use it are so few and far between. Again, we're kind of in that period of, I see the term now, it's glass divers. We are in a glass divers meta where our characters are way too squishy, where there is no time to heal your friends or your squad mates. And the only real use I see for this thing is if you're going from objective to objective and your whole team's together and you want to keep everybody's stamina topped off. That's the only time I can see use in this thing, because it's not going to be what I think it's supposed to be for, which is healing. But the way to fix this stim pistol, I think, is there's a few ways they could go about it. If you want to make this thing really good, you would have it where you shoot somebody with it and it gives them a health regen and a stamina regen buff that lasts for like, say, 30 seconds. So you'd be just gradually getting health and stamina for that entire duration, but at a rate that is slower than if you just inject, directly into yourself. So that way it's a little bit of a trade-off between having just, with your regular stims, you get that initial boost, everything just boom up and it's over what, like 7 seconds. The stim pistol could work where it's, at 30 seconds and it's a more gradual, slower pace. So if you're like in a bad situation where you're going to get nuked anyways, it's not going to save you. But if you're running and saying like a hunter's coming after you and it hits you a few times, that thing, this could be a thing that could gradually heal you and keep you topped off to not get like hunted down. Again, for only like, I don't know, a 30-second duration or something like that. So that's how I would kind of fix this Warbond in general. And then the other big drawback for me is the aesthetics. That comes down to personal preference. Is it for you? Is it not for you? For me, I obviously get every Warbond. I cover this game. It's a hobby of mine. So obviously I'm going to get it. But like at the beginning of the video, if you're a more casual player and you are thinking about getting your first Warbond, I would not pick up this one. I would actually probably pick up this Warbond last, but somewhere definitely in the bottom tier of picks for Warbonds. I kind of really do miss the time of the first couple Warbonds we got, where we got 3 primary weapons, we got a sidearm, maybe another grenade. Now I appreciate their new style, but if you have a bunch of like wet noodle or kind of like underwhelming picks, then this style of Warbond that they've been doing lately it kind of feels bad. But on the flip side of all this, this game is very generous with super credits if you play all the time. And if you ever have a live service game, I think Helldivers 2 in general is your best, bang for your buck. I think they're the most fair about it. It's very reasonable. I think this is totally acceptable for like, modern age of gaming with Warbonds and seasonal passes and yada yada yada. I think Helldivers 2 is still top of the line and very fair to the player base. Anyways, that's really it for this video. That's my review of the Warbond now that I have it completed and I've had like a lot of time with it. For future Warbonds, man, I'm hoping we get a like Black Ops silencers, all, spray paint black gear set, maybe some like night vision goggles, something like that. That would be a really cool Warbond for me. Other than that, I'm just excited to kind of see what they'll do next. I think Warbonds are a really exciting part of this game, and it does feel bad when the cadence of them are, kind of takes so long, and then the one that just came out you don't really vibe with. So you got a long wait before that next Warbond, which you don't know if you're gonna like it or not. I don't know if I want them to pick up that cadence or keep it where it is. I don't know. That's up to developers. That's all for now. I think the next video will be a long tier list, so that'll definitely be a background video and maybe with an adult beverage if you're of age. So, until then, guys, peace. Thanks for watching.